Hey, everybody. I'm super excited. I'm going to give some people time to jump on streaming this to a couple of different places. So I'm playing around with streaming it to my YouTube channel for the first time and then all of the places on Facebook. So if you're here, comment and let me know that you're here and let's dig into some topics. So, um, it is so rainy outside today. If you guys aren't in Vegas, we're getting like completely drenched and driving here to my office after lunch. There were cars that were getting stuck in intersections and all kinds of crazy stuff we don't normally experience in Vegas. So hair's a little wet and craziness. So with that being said, if you're here, as you're jumping on, comment, let me know that you're here and let's dig into some topics. So, ask me anything. What do you want to know? I'm playing around with StreamYard for the first time too. I've been using it. Sorry, I've been using it for a really long time, but haven't really used it, and then you learn about all these features and you're like, man, I wish I had a program that did that. And then you realize you do. So obviously the big news right now is the book coming out, which I'm so incredibly excited for and grateful for all the support that I've received. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm working on setting up some book signings and local author events here in Vegas. And I'm looking forward to what that ends up being and where it goes. This project has been in the works for so long that it feels weird to have it finally done and ready to be consumed by the world. So I'm so excited for that. Thank you guys. A little bit more on the book. And again, this isn't Ask Me Anything. So comment, have a conversation. If you want to jump on and talk to me, actually, you know what? That's a good idea before I dig in. I'm going to put the link in the Facebook group. And if you guys want to jump on, let's have a conversation. Copy. Hold on. I need Jeopardy music for this, apparently. Copy, comment, paste. Let me edit this while I'm here too. Edit, post, join me here or comment your questions and let's chat. Cool. Thanks for your patience with me while I figure out how to people. So, yeah, the book came out. It was published on the 23rd, which was a really important day. I'll get into that a little bit more later. And it was officially available for purchase on Amazon on the 28th. So we're in the first week. And again, the welcoming and the support that I've got has been incredible. So thank you to everybody who's purchased it. If you haven't and you want a copy, it is available on Amazon. One thing that I noticed is because the book is called Break Your Bullshit Box and I put the asterisk in it, if you type in Break Your Bullshit Box in Amazon, it doesn't come up. You have to either remove the I and do SHT, or you've got to put the asterisk in it in order for Google to recognize it. So hopefully, as it's up for longer and the algorithm kicks in and more people run out and grab it and review it, then it will start to register. And on that note, reviews, that's a really, really good point. Right now, reviews is what is like the most valuable. So if you buy it and you feel so inclined to review it, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you do, please screenshot the review and post it to social media, tag me in it, and I will give you a free signed copy of the physical book. So, as my thank you for you taking the time to do that, because I know that Amazon doesn't always make it easy to review. So cool. The book itself, sorry guys, so the book itself came out on August 23rd, and my team worked so hard to get that done as quickly as possible for me, because they knew how important that day was to me. August 23rd is the date of my dad's accident. August 23rd of 2001, my dad passed away in a construction accident, and losing him has had such a impact on who I am as a person, who I am as a coach, as an attorney. And I felt like two things. Number one, I wanted to honor him and the role that he has played in me being who I am, both before and after his accident. And then secondly, I really wanted to redefine that day for me. For probably 15 years after he passed away, I wouldn't do anything on August 23rd. I blocked it out of my calendar. I didn't schedule court appearances. There were some days that I didn't function. And as I started to grieve and started to heal a little bit, then it just became a day and a memory. And I really wanted to redefine that. So it was important to me that the book came out on August 23rd. So with my team's help, we made that happen. It went live on the 28th. And this writing process, this is probably one of the most rewarding things that I've done, and also one of the most vulnerable and challenging things that I've done. And the best thing that I chose to do during this process was hire a good editor. The moment that I hired a good editor, it all got easier, because I had somebody on the other end of that was able to say, give me an imperfect product, give me an imperfect manuscript, an imperfect product, and I will work with you to make it everything that you've wanted. And I remember when I reached out to her saying, I feel like this sucks. Like, nobody's ever going to want to read this. And she says, it's not done, and we aren't done until you're happy with it. And we went back 3 or 4 times in editing before it was released, and I was happy with it. So I tell this story to say that whatever it is you're working on, whatever you're putting together right now, if you feel like it's awful, it probably is. And stay with me for a minute. I mean this lovingly. We are not going to be good at things that we do the first time. It's impossible. So if you've never done it before and you're trying to do it all alone, then it's going to suck, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be imperfect. And we get to take those steps anyways to take action, even though it's imperfect. I remember when I started the podcast, I was told by somebody, it was my podcasting coach. He said, if you are happy with your first episode, you waited too long to launch. And that was really interesting to me. If you think you did a good job when you do something for the first time, then you waited too long to do it. You were too ready. One of the sections of my book is called Baby Steps. And there's a quote in it about taking baby steps, and how we've started to use this as, be careful, take baby steps, take just a little step at a time. When in reality, if you think about what baby steps are the most brave and unstable things that we do. We don't know how to walk. We don't know what's going to happen on the other side of learning how to walk. We don't know if we're going to get hurt because we keep standing up and falling down and standing up and falling down. So when we learn to take steps as a child, when we're walking through that learning process, it is uncomfortable and unstable, and yet we're unwavering, right? We don't hear people say, well, I fell once when I tried to take a step as a child, so I guess I just decided that walking wasn't for me, right? Like we just figured it out. Um, so when people say take baby steps, I've always heard that as a tentative, be careful, take baby steps, one foot in front of the other. When in reality, baby steps is diving into the unknown and being willing to be imperfect and love it anyways, and love the journey and trust in the process. So for anybody out there who's thinking about creating anything, thinking about, somebody just commented, let me go to Facebook. So StreamYard's really weird because if you haven't given StreamYard permission or Facebook permission for your sorry, I'm multitasking, reading comments and talking at the same time. If you haven't given Facebook permission for StreamYard to access your profile, then it comes up as just Facebook user. So I'm going to go, oh, it was Carrie. Hey, Carrie. It's so good to see you. So for anybody who's out there thinking about creating anything, my biggest advice that I can give to you is to do it, and do it even though you're not sure of the outcome. Do it knowing that you're going to suck at it for the first time, because that's life, right? Nobody does something and is fantastic at it the very, very first time that they try it. Yet we set these unreasonable expectations that we should be. So that is part of the book process, and that's an update on that. So I launched at I ended up at number 1 new releases in the NLP category for a couple days in a row. I think I actually still am the number 1 new release. At one point in time, I was number 8 in the entire category overall, not just new releases. I've dropped a little bit in that now. So hoping that as we send out notifications for it and people go buy the either print version or the ebook version, that I'll be able to get that illustrious bestseller overall tag. But I definitely was happy and excited to have that bestseller new release category. So, so we have a question that just popped up of how do you deal with someone who constantly lies? So I love this question, and I think that there's a couple of different approaches for this. So the person who asked this private messaged me and asked to stay anonymous, so we'll honor that. But I think that the first thing that we have to understand is that every single intention has a behavior, whether it's every single behavior has an intention. So whether it's our behavior or somebody else's behavior, our unconscious mind acts always for a purpose. So we can't necessarily understand without probing and asking questions and being in an environment where that person opens up to us what the intention is for their behavior of not telling the truth. It could be protection. It could be that they think it's the truth, right? So this is a question that requires much more information in order for me to answer well. All I can do is answer it from a high-level hypothetical standpoint. And the high-level hypothetical answer is, first of all, we have to understand their model of the world. We need to know the dynamics between the people who are involved, and whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, a business context. We need to understand what their intention is with the behavior. Do they actually know that it's a lie? Or is their model of the world different than ours and they think it's true? It's interesting the way that we filter information and what information pops up as we saw something this way and somebody else sees it another way. So there's so many different options. The most important thing when we start talking about something like this is really understanding what we can control in a situation. And we can't necessarily control how somebody chooses to show up. Also, if somebody is really committed to their story and whether they believe it's true or whether they know that they're lying and they don't want to get caught, confronting them with facts rarely works because they've already backed themselves into a corner. So, best case scenario, they know that it's a lie, and you telling them facts, you're not telling them anything that they don't already know, and they didn't care about the facts in the first place. So there's a reason for that. And so then they just get backed into a corner, and how they behave when they're backed up into a corner is unreliable and unpredictable without knowing more about them. The other side of it is that they don't know that it's a lie, that their brain has filtered information in a way that that's what they believe happened. Or maybe they knew that it wasn't true at one point in time, but they've told the story so many times that now they think it's true. So even from either of those aspects, if somebody doesn't believe that what they're telling you is a lie, then telling them facts that contradict that isn't going to make a difference. They're not going to believe those facts. If they know that it's a lie, they didn't care about those facts in the first place, so telling them the facts doesn't matter. It really comes down to how important it is for you to connect with and understand this person's behavior and asking them questions to understand the purpose of not telling the truth. It's a tough situation to be in. So hopefully you find some resolution to that. Without knowing more, I can't really give any more detailed information. So I hope that was helpful. In the end, really what it comes down to is just asking more questions than giving statements so that you can start to understand the purpose of people's behavior. So great question. Thank you for asking it. If you have any other questions, feel free to either comment them or in the StreamYard notification on Success Center. I did put the link. If you want to jump on here and have an actual conversation with me, click that link and come join me. So what else do we want to talk about today? Goal settings coming up. Have you guys set your 2024 goals and your 2023 quarter four goals? That's something that I'm getting ready to spend some time in September doing, analyzing my Q3 and setting my goals and action steps for Q4. If you haven't done that yet, how interesting would it be for you guys if I did a webinar or an event where we walked through quarterly planning and planning for the year and how to set that up? If that's something that you guys would be interested in, then please comment on the video or jump on or comment in the Facebook group, shoot me a message, whatever works for you. If you're interested in me doing a goal setting workshop, I'd be happy to put that together for the Success Center. So with goal setting, I normally make it a point to focus on my annual goals and then work on breaking those out into quarterly sections and then down from there. I love vision boarding. I love the concept of vision boarding, but the reality is that what happens with a vision board most of the time. Did somebody just walk in my office? Hold on. Go to your home. Go to your crate. Go get your toy. Go get it. Good. Thank you so much. No, I appreciate you. I was like, she really is. Yes. No. What are you? So, I know, right? Look at this one. Yeah, I'm glad we're raising for y'all. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Look, puppy's hard. Go. She does. Thank you so much. I appreciate you dropping this by. Take care. I'm so sorry that I had to run away. I had a package delivered. So thank you for that. So we were talking about goal setting. If you guys want to have a goal setting workshop, let me know. I'll put that together. It's really, we were talking about vision boarding. That's where I was at. So a lot of people who do vision boarding, I absolutely love the concept of doing an annual vision board. The problem with it is, and this is the same thing with New Year's resolutions, is we focus on it for that short period of time, and then that vision board goes somewhere and we don't look at it and we don't focus on it. The New Year's resolution, there comes a point in time where, you know, we automatically think that it's a new year, so our behavior is going to change and we're going to do something differently. And then there becomes this point where we give up on that because we didn't have realistic small action steps. So vision boarding is great. And we're getting to the end of year planning where we get to look at what we want out of 2024. Now let's do it in a way where we can actually achieve it, where we can actually create the vision that we're putting on that board, because it doesn't happen just because we put it out onto the board. This is where the secret and the law of manifestation and the law of attraction gets it wrong. I believe in manifestation and attracting a certain energy, and I believe in all of that. However, there has to be an action step, and the action step is what's missed so many times. So when it comes to creating that goal setting workshop, I'm happy to do that. Just comment and let me know whether that would be of interest to you. Couple comments here. I believe in giving the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes people lie due to embarrassment or to save face. I believe we're human and sometimes missed the mark on open communication. Sometimes it's easier to fabricate a story than to be authentic. Absolutely it is. You know, this is one of the things that I talk about in one of the chapters in my book, is that, you know, I lived with this story of why I went to law school for so long, because it was the story that I needed to have in order to function. Right? I couldn't acknowledge that the reason that I went to law school was to run away from the pain and trauma of my life. And that I thought that there was a moment that it just wasn't going to matter anymore. So I had to concoct this big believable story about a big moment in my life, which was my dad's accident. And don't get me wrong, my dad's accident is a big reason that I went to law school. However, the real reason is that I didn't want to grieve. So I took everything and I put it into this box. And I thought, if I can just make enough money, if I can just have enough success, then the pain and the hurt from my dad's accident and all the losses that I experienced in my life, it's not going to matter anymore. And then I can move on with my life. Law school is going to make it better. And when it didn't, when I had my 6-figure income and my successful legal career, and I still had all the pain and all the hurt and all the trauma, I suddenly started having panic attacks and anxiety attacks. And that's when the real work started happening. So I am really aware of the way that we can fabricate a story, because it is easier than understanding the truth. And our brain are onions, right? So when we deal with our unconscious mind is designed to protect us. It's designed to repress memories we're not ready to deal with yet, which is so interesting, because as I was going through my NLP training and got further and further into the science and the journey, the more I learned, the more I healed. And the more I healed, the more I remembered. And for a really long time, it was hard for me to remember moments with my dad, because it was easier for me to not remember than it was for me to live in a world where he no longer existed. And the more that I healed, all of a sudden, these memories just started flooding back to me of moments with my dad, things that I had completely forgotten about. So it's a pretty incredible journey, and it's one of the reasons that I started to make the shift from full-time growing my law practice to going all in on sharing my story to change people's lives and impact the world, right? And giving people tools and resources that they can use to create life on their terms. So for those of you who are interested, the book, you can grab a copy of Break Your Bullshit Box. The link is here. Again, if you go to Amazon to get it and you type in the name, just eliminate the I from bullshit, because I did it with an asterisk in the title, and Amazon's search algorithms don't understand asterisks. It doesn't recognize the word bullshit. So, or you can copy that link into your browser. So, we had a comment. Let's see. Yes to the goal setting. So perfect. I will put that together, and we'll probably do it towards the end of September. I'll get a date together and we'll do a webinar on it, that you guys can join. You know, I try every time that I'm working on creating something, I try to, let me remove this banner. I try to make sure that you guys in the Success Center get access to it first, because I really appreciate you guys being here and the support that you've always shown me. So I will let you guys know so that we can give you guys first option. We have a comment: identify with your experience of not wanting to grieve. I worked 70 to 80 hours a week for 5 years straight. It was only work, no one and nothing else. And then I realized I'm missing out on life. Yeah, I can absolutely relate to that. Turned around my focus and met the man of my dreams, and enjoying my career and going back to college. Definitely interested in goal setting. Yeah, I had this conversation with somebody because I stayed so busy for so long. And my mom would reach out to me and she would tell me to slow down. And I'd say, Mom, you just don't get it. You don't understand, because you're not social like I am. And I would go out dancing, and then I would go to music festivals, and I would go to work, and I was rarely home for a long time. And I used to think I was an extrovert. And so I would say, I'm just always extroverted. I'm going to go out into the world. And imagine my surprise when I realized I was actually an introvert. And the reason that I loved being out with people so much was because if I wasn't with people, I was alone. And if I was alone, then I was with myself. And I didn't like myself. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like the person that I had become and the person that I was pretending to be. So it was easy for me to stay busy than it was for me to sit in silence with myself. And, people always ask me, what's your number one tip to get to the other side of that? And the answer is just in the journey, right? The healing, stepping into it. The title of my book, Break Your Bullshit Box, came from this whole conversation because I would speak on stages for so long about this compartmentalization box where we put all the trauma that we don't want to deal with, all of the things that cause us pain and that we think are going to cause us shame and hurt, and nobody would connect with us if they knew. We lock those up in a box and we say, I'm never going to have to deal with this stuff if I can just accomplish this. So then we get this thing, whatever this was. For me, it was a 6-figure income and a law degree. And we wait for magic fairies to come take away all of our shit. And when it doesn't, our model of the world is completely misunderstood. And that's where my panic attacks and anxiety attacks came from. So while we have this compartmentalization box where all of our shit's at, we also have this bullshit box. And the bullshit box is where all of our excuses go. It's where all of the things that we use to convince ourselves that we can't have what it is we want to have. So when people tell me, I don't think I have a bullshit box, my response is, then you must have everything that you want in life with no exceptions. And they'll say, well, no, I really wish I could do this. Well, what makes you think you can't do that? And they'll start listing off all of these things. And I was like, that's your bullshit. That's your bullshit. So the bullshit box stays open. And we easily reach our hands in and grab whatever excuse is handy and the most successful at convincing us that we have overcommitted to our dreams. My belief is that those boxes need to be switched, that our bullshit box needs to be inaccessible. We put bullshit in and we can't access those excuses until we're ready to deal with them. Our compartmentalization box, which is where all the things that we think make us unrelatable, that needs to be opened and shared with the right people at the right time. I'm not saying to go out into the world and be this oversharer where everybody knows everything about you. However, in the right circumstances with the right people, sharing the things that you have believed make you unrelatable is exactly what is going to allow people to connect with you. It's exactly what makes you human. It's what makes you unique. It's what makes you energetically attractive to people. Like, think about a time where somebody has seemed to have it all together and you think that's cool. Like, I'm really excited for their success. Good for them, but they're over here, right? You can't really relate to that. And then that person posts something about struggling with networking or struggling with self-worth or struggling with whatever the struggle is. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can relate to that because I know how that feels. I do those things too. Well, now all of a sudden you have this common thing that we can bond over. Unfortunately, we bond over struggles more than we bond over successes most of the time. For a long time, the podcast was called More Than Corporate, and I bonded with people over the identity crisis that I was in for so long. And then it became Break Your Bullshit Box, because now that's what we resonate with the most, is being able to break out of the excuses that we have allowed to hold ourselves back. So we're going to put together the goal setting workshop. Thank you guys for being interested in that. The second thing that I would love your guys' feedback on, and feel free if you're watching this on replay to still comment on the video or shoot me a private message if you don't want your comments to be heard on the video or seen, sorry, on the comment thread. I want to know what you guys want out of Success Center. What would be valuable to you? You guys all joined it for a particular purpose. What made you decide to join Success Center? And what is it that can be the most valuable for you in free resources that I can provide to the community? And then again, every time I launch a product that has any type of investment associated with it, you guys always get first access. And you always get pricing that's not available to anybody else. So I do my best to support you guys in that way. But I want to know where you want this group to go, because if it's not valuable to you guys, then there's no reason for me to continue putting in the effort to create content for it. Although I love that and would do it even if nobody was listening. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you what's valuable for you. So what are the biggest challenges that you have coming up, and how can I help you identify those and overcome them? What does that look like for you and feel like for you? I would absolutely love to have that feedback. Also, as you listen to these, I set a goal to lose weight and stick with the 35 so far. Good for you. Congratulations. I absolutely love that. I am on that journey as well. And sometimes it does not go quite as quickly as I would like. Sometimes I feel like I could just go to sleep. Like the Alice in Wonderland pills, the red or the blue pill. Do I want to be big or little? I really wish that there was just a healthy, like, reach your goal pill. So I'm with you. I feel that. So I'm going to be doing more of these. My goal is to do one of these Ask Me Anythings a month and give you guys some more notice on it. I wasn't planning on doing one today. I just ended up jumping on because I had a cancellation. So I appreciate the comments and the communication that we've had so far. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to do more of these. So again, if you haven't grabbed your copy of the book yet, here's the information for it. Make sure if you type it into Amazon that you type in the full name with the asterisk, or you can just go ahead and type that code into Amazon as well. Go ahead and let me know what you want to see out of the Success Center moving forward. And I will get the goal setting workshop set up, and we will plan on doing that somewhere towards the end of September. So I'll get a date to you soon. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. And if you're in Vegas, stay dry. If you are anywhere else in the world, stay safe and happy. And I look forward to communicating and connecting with you. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.